Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Living World of Darkness Rage Across New York. Today, it is another puppy outing. This is a beautiful day, I hope, in New York. Regardless of what the weather happens to be, we have one new cub who is, well, she's not so good at just sitting around indoors, so every outing is a good idea, and we have another who still isn't shaking the blues. So it is time for extreme measures. It is time to go and visit Puka.
Yay!
And so, with Lucas likely leading the way, Talia lingering close, and poor Cinna getting just kind of herded along with the rest of them, they are going to go and visit the Puka.
Alright. The high ban has been enacted as far as I understand it, so we're probably traveling in the penumbral reflection of the park, seeing as one of us over here refuses to shape change into something a little bit more inconspicuous. But in any case, as we walk onto the scene, we find ourselves in a little bit of a glade that's been slowly but surely growing for the past few days, in fact. We Katie, you're gonna have to remind me, what was the wood that was starting to sprout
It was
out
a
last time we were here?
boxwood.
Ooh, what?
Boxwood.
Boxwood. Right. The boxwood sprout that had started to grow is now it's grown a lot more. It's starting to form a little bit of an enclosure, actually. And within this enclosure, you see several of the rabbit and hare spirits very much hopping quite happily. Lucas, for his part, goes ahead and, sees this, rushes on over, looks down. Oh my god, they're so adorable.
Mavis going to kind of reach down to pat the little Senna on the head and be like, if you want to shift, Puka's a sweetheart.
She'll glance up, then lowers her head again. Just lets herself flop on the ground.
And she'll come over to attend to the bunnies. And, well, boxwoods are generally when one goes into a garden and sees the large trees and bushes that get sculpted into various ornate shapes. Those are boxwoods being clipped and trained into whatever kind of shape you can imagine. Plant sculptures, plant mazes. Many of these are made with boxwoods. So a boxwood deciding to grow itself into a nice little enclosure, especially something that provides cover for the rabbits so they don't have to worry about natural predators, is pretty shit hot, let's be honest, and it's something the plant is totally capable of doing. So she'll likewise slip over and look around out of the bunnies, specifically for Puka, who is perhaps a little more accustomed to being handled. Not that any of them should look at her poorly at this point. And she'll crouch down and hold her arms out and see if any of them are bold enough to volunteer.
One of them, the gray and spotted one, goes ahead and hops up to you. You hear its voice because you do have the blessings of spirit speech. That or a stag laugh, best laugh. Hop hop.
And she will smile broadly, and she'll scoop him up and hug him closely, carefully supporting his, well, you're usually a little more careful with non-domestic rabbits because their claws are surprisingly sharp, and their kicks can do a lot of damage. They can mess you up when they want to. But in the case of Puka, he is both a very sweet-tempered rabbit and a domestic on top of that, so he probably won't be nearly so dangerous to hold and support properly. So she'll scoop him into an arm, make sure he feels like he's grounded properly, and hold him to her chest and stroke him a couple times. And she'll walk back over to Cinna and plop down in front of her. Come on, Cinna. Nobody doesn't want to hold a bunny.
There's this puff coming from the wolf.
He's super soft. And he has declared that princess laps are the best kind of laps.
Not a princess.
She'll stick her tongue out at her. I'm not either, but can't stop people from calling us that for some reason.
That was because I was with him.
You're still tied to a house. You're still... Your blood is as blue as mine, if mine's blue at all. Come on, Sin, I'll do anything you ask if you'll just cheer up just a little bit, if you'll hold the bunny. Come on.
She'll, as soon as her dice pool works. Because...
Look at the little twitchy nose. Come on, you know you wanna.
Let's see.
Come on, dice pool. So what's Talia doing?
Working my pound. Yeah, there it is.
And what's that?
Nobody heard nothing what nobody said.
Well, Senna is slowly shifting back into Homid. Her entire appearance doesn't really change that much. She's sitting on the ground, legs folded, her head bent, just looking at her feet.
She will get the most adorable little gray spotted white bunny held out to her, nose twitching. Very, very docile, happy bunny.
She'll look up, stretches out her hands, just strokes the fur of the bunny, and then lets her hand just kind of drop into her lap again. Charisma and Mokin.
It helps if I have my mic on. Maeve will, after the one pet, just gingerly set Puka in her lap and stroke him a few times and confide in him that, she's been very sad. I'm sure you can cheer her up some and stroke the bunny.
Charisma and Mokin is great. 4 successes. So. Yeah. Sorry, that was no, that was Charisma.
And here's a question. Do you have spirit speech by chance?
Nope.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, just happy bunny.
Happy bunny. Snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. A terribly adorable bunny. He'll go ahead and hop from her to you. If you're holding out your arms out, he'll definitely nuzzle in there. Or if you're sitting down, which you did say you were, he'll hop into your lap and just sort of give you a nice bit of warmth. He is cuddly. He is warm. He is also soft and fluffy.
So unbelievably soft. Bunny fur is amazing.
At this point, Talia, who's been sort of just quietly watching what's going on and also kind of studying Senna, because I don't think she's actually seen Senna before, not as a lupus, and at this point we'll sort of walk over and ask if you do you mind if I have a stroke? Because she can't resist the fluffiness.
Oh, at this point, Lucas has gotten one of the other bunnies out of the pen, walking on over. Cuddle, cuddle, cuddle. Scratch, 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 scratch. You want?
She tries to look a bit nonchalant, but then still holds her hands out. Yes, please.
Hands it over. It is soft. This one's actually brown with a touch of maroon, actually, along its spine.
Ooh.
Talia will plop herself down next to Cinna and just quietly stroke it.
Lucas, for his part, is going back to the pen and looking at a bit of bushes for the more leafy greens that rabbits just love to chew on. Gonna go ahead and collect pieces of them in one hand, two hands, walk on over, and offer it to both Tay. God damn it,
Talia.
Talia, Talia, to Talia and Cinna. Leafy greens.
And all things considered, Maeve has probably gone Disney princess mode because she's sitting, which means there's probably a bunny on her somewhere.
Talia will reach out and bemusedly take the leafy greens from Lucas and attempt to feed the bunny.
Nibble, 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 nibble.
They make the most, like, obnoxiously adorable little crunchy crunch crunch noises while they're eating. It hurts your soul how cute they are. And Maeve will be idly petting the ones that have gotten, well, within range. And will, over to Puka, lean into and put her hand essentially over by Cinna's lap, just right in front of the bunny, and will manifest a point of gnosis into essentially a full-sized carrot, top and all, and leave it there for him to nibble.
Whilst the nibbling continues, in the little bit in the distance, you guys can hear a harmonica being played.
Perk?
It's not a real. It's a bit of a soothing, relaxing tune.
Maeve's gonna start looking around. Where's that coming from, essentially? Glance, glance.
Talia's not going to get up, but she will turn to Maeve and Lucas, seeing as they seem to know the things. Is that normal?
Shrug. There's no reason someone can't play a harmonica, I guess. I don't know who it is. Looking around, looking around.
Well, you can looking around. You can see in the tree, like a few 10 yards away from you all. There's a guy sitting on one of the branches, playing a tune.
And she'll grin and invite him over with a little wave of hand.
You can see that he has his eyes closed whilst playing the harmonica.
Ah, very well. Well, then I won't do that, because that would be silly.
Honors to lost Raya.
Blink? Glances over to Lucas, because he is always
Honors
full of
the-
information.
Honors the lost Raya, current tail singer to the Sept. Adrin, I believe. Silent Strider, I also believe. I believe a lot of things that may or may not be true.
It's true.
Pardon?
It's true.
Oh. Yet another new person.
General demeanor, friendly. Galliard, actually. Forget about that one.
And she'll wait for a pause, a natural pause in the music to call out, "Good afternoon, Raya," but she will not otherwise interrupt his playing.
Well, after like a few 10 seconds or so, the tune will end, and like you can see him put it back in his messenger bag. As he pulls out a small necklace, and when he hears the "Good afternoon, Raya," he'll kind of up, look around, and look down. Oh, hi.
Thank you for playing.
He'll get off his ass and jump down the tree. It's actually quite high from where he's jumping.
After some of the ridiculous feats she's seen Lucas do, thankfully Maeve isn't quite like blown away, but she'll appreciate the difference considering it's not really her skill set.
He'll take a look around. New faces?
Hmm. There's been a lot of us lately.
Lucas, Maeve
Right.
Markfion, Talia Westlake, and Cinna.
Yep, those are names, Raya.
You are well informed, Raya.
Nod.
I see a lot. How y'all doing?
Doing very fantastically this afternoon. We are now tending to the rabbits. Would you like to hold one and feed them? They're quite cuddly.
I don't have anything to feed them, so if you have something.
Lucas goes ahead and walks over back to the hutch, and make do hutch. Goes ahead and grabs a lot of the leafy, leafy vines, leafy leaves, all these greens that the rabbits just tend to congregate around and nibble on. Goes ahead and walks back to Aaron, hands him a little tiny packet of leafy greens, and says, "Do you want to? All you gotta do is walk over to that pin over there, extend your hand, offer the green, and they'll hop right in."
He'll just go and do that, man. There you go. You can notice that this man is extremely tall. He's about 7.5 feet tall.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Let's see. You get one that's mostly screw it. You get a black one, black-furred one.
He'll stroke it a couple times, but you notice that he won't pick it up.
Yeah, seems quite hesitant to be picked up by you, unfortunately. As you get a lot of animalkin to go ahead and counteract that rage you got, good sir.
Oh, I actually have the smell of man gifts, so that's all okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Cheating for the win.
Cheating for the win. So, like, he'll give the leaves and then sit down. You mind if I join you guys?
Of course
Sure.
not. Maybe
See, we were
slowly collecting
just-
more and more bunnies.
See, we're just out here because we wanted to stretch our legs. That one over there wants to stretch her legs. And we decided the sun and bunnies would be the optimal strategy. And
can
plus, we don't
appreciate that.
usually get a chance to actually walk around unattended.
When the cat is away from home, the mice stands at the table, eh?
Yep. Seems
We'll
like
take
everybody
optimal
around here is
breathing.
just a little bit more busy today. And so, yeah, we took the opportunity.
Glances to Talia.
We'll take any freedoms we can get, as small or as great as they may be.
I see. How's the life treating you so far?
I would say steadily improving.
That's good.
Smile. It is.
He'll look towards Cinna since she hasn't said anything yet.
I don't suppose we're lucky enough that Senna has distracted herself by petting the bunny.
No, sorry.
Damn it!
She's looking at it, but
Look at them big brown eyes.
Talia will speak up and say that she doesn't seem to be taking it so well. I understand there are more circumstances. I don't understand what they all are. As I'm sure you're aware, I've only been here a few nights.
I gotcha. No, I know. Oh, I know.
Anashraya,
Hmm?
have you spoken with Zechariah yet?
No.
So, are you informed about Geodyne and the meteor?
Yeah, I know.
Perk.
So you have spoken with him?
No, I haven't.
Oh. Okay. My apologies, Anashraya.
That's fine. You don't need to apologize for that.
Maeve will look thoughtful for a couple moments and then kind of glance to Talia and glance to Cinna. I don't suppose either of you. Well, I mean, she's gonna glance down at the rabbits. I guess neither of you have the problem of animals treating you strangely since you changed, right?
Oh god, I forgot. The rabbit in Talia's hands?
Yeah.
Getting a bit more anxious?
Does she have Mark of the Predator?
No, she just has high rage.
Okay.
It's a spirit, though.
Prey spirits. Prey spirits often enough don't take too kindly to Aruns or Galliards.
This is
Maeve
true.
will try to settle it down by likewise offering it a point of gnosis in various leafy greens and roots. Just set them in Talia's lap so that maybe it'll calm down and be more interested in nibbling those than in freaking out.
Talia will, if it calms down, that's great. If it keeps wriggling, she will look at Maeve and a little bit sadly and try and give it back.
Well, hopefully at the very least, while there's still active gnosis in her lap, she'll probably have it linger around long enough to eat that, because that's good shit.
Oh yeah, Gnosis is definitely good shit.
And she'll glance at her and go, it's the part of being a full moon is that, like we said, you have more of Luna's rage in you, and they can sense that. But it could be much worse. Callie was, whatever she had was bad enough that I couldn't even, like, I had to promise not to gain any pets or anything because they would always react weirdly to her. There's something about her.
Yes. The Vigilant Bow had a very strong connection to her primal side.
Not.
Don't worry though. There are tricks you can learn to help you with that.
Oh. Well, clearly I should learn those, just in case.
Well, it's the gift the spirits bestow on those born on two legs.
Head tilt?
It's taught by one of your ancestor spirits, or rather, a ancestor spirit can teach this gift. Domesticated animals will react positively to your presence and not be afraid of you.
That sounds intriguing.
It is. The ways of the spirits are always very intriguing.
Mostly confusing so far, but I leave that to Maeve.
Well,
Beams.
yes, it's the duty of, it's a job of affairs to talk to spirits, but I recommend you pick up some knowledge on of your own. We've had plenty of our own doing some stupid shit because they did not know
And
what
actually,
to
like,
do.
we've told you about Travis before and how I'm sure he will help teach you combat and teach you to work with your rage. I've seen him address spirits before. You should have seen the funny dances he had to do to get him to bless a cookie. It was... She kind of, like, that, oh boy, nod. With the funny expression. She was like, yeah, I wouldn't call dancing his strong suit, but he did it.
I do
Sang
mean
songs about his magic cookie.
If he dances better than he sings, he's probably gonna be alright.
She kind of bows in a little bit. It's obvious that she's having trouble hearing Cinna.
If he sings... If he dances better than he sings, he's probably gonna be alright.
Mm.
Yeah, I remember the time he was singing Bad Romance in a karaoke bar.
Oh gosh, really?
As do I.
Mm.
Here we were.
I've heard much about Travis. I am now entertained to meet him as well as requiring to meet him.
When I met Travis, he was a cop, just like you all. And he didn't know anything. Nothing at all. At the time, I was the damn parent. So I had to teach him all of his shit. But one day, I think this was like half a year ago already. One day we went out for like a party, and we went to a karaoke bar. And there were a couple of people, Sinavi here, me, Leah, Travis, and a couple more. We were all singing songs and being terrible together, and we just sucked. But some of us were quite good.
Maeve's kind of brought a hand up to half hide her grin, but she can't stop snickering.
Alan and Leah sang a duet. That was good.
You sang very well as well, Sina.
Was a long time ago.
I remember the entire bar falling in silence when they listened to you.
I didn't know you could sing, Cinna.
This sounds like something we should try and do again, then.
My harp is still in the mansion, so no.
Promptly shutting up.
If you are the tale singer, Raya, is there any chance that you could sing Cinna something or tell her a tale that might cheer her just a little bit?
Depends. What sort of a tale do you want to hear? One with strong will, one with courage, one with great wits, perhaps a cautionary tale?
I don't think a cautionary tale would quite do it, but
Story of wits.
Story of wits, story of quick thinking, eh?
Oh. He goes ahead and sits down, nuzzled with his own bunny. If you go ahead and recite Watership Down to me right now, I will be forever in love with you.
The what?
Watership Down.
I don't think that's a Guru tale.
I don't think that's necessarily appropriate whilst we are around the bunnies.
Story of quick thinking. Well, I can make it a humorous one and tell you one of. Okay. So this is a story from about a year ago. This is me, one of the children of Gaia, and Travis, actually. Sol Invictus, Raya, our mighty hero now, but once, our mighty hero was just a little cub that did not know the ways of the world. We discovered, in the sewers below, a giant breeding ground. A giant breeding ground of the worm was producing Banes and Fomori and monsters of all sorts and sizes, shapes, hooks, claws, weapons, you name it, they got it. They even had machinery. Combined humans with machinery. No, bad. We were sent in to investigate. If possible, destroy. So we walk in. We know full well that this is territory where we are actually not welcome. What is it that you know of the others of this city?
There are a lot of them.
Head tilt.
What do you know of the rats?
I haven't heard about them really.
I'm assuming you don't mean the general rats.
No, I am talking about general rats.
I mean, it's New York. They're
The
there.
Bonar Sept.
Ah,
I know Great White Mouse.
yes. But we are not the only children that Gaia made. For you see, the wolves are not her only children. There are many, many more. And we are called the changing breeds. Well, that is once what we were called. Now we call ourselves Gauru, and the rest of them are just the Fera, the derogatory term. But changing breeds is the right term. And there are many different ones. There are the cat changers. There are sharks.
Oh, don't tell me about sharks.
Yeah.
So do all of their animals also...
There are stories about dragons and dinosaurs. But there are also rats. The rats' territory is that below us, in the sewers. Do not go to the sewers. I swear, do not go to the sewers. I will haul your ass back here.
Blink.
It wasn't somewhere I'd ever thought, yes, let's go to the sewers. Didn't
Inside
sound
Lucas's-
unsafe.
Sorry, say that again?
It was never somewhere on my to-do list.
In Lucas's head. Do, 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 do.
Resist the urge to go to the sewers.
Inside Lucas's head. Been there, done that, got the cookie.
This breeding ground, was in the sewers. And it was set up that it interfered with our gifts, with the powers the spirits bestowed upon us. So we had to leave marks and traces of where we went. Now, eventually, we found the facility. We found the different cages, the containers that were used to breed these Banes and Fomori. So naturally, we decide to hide. We decide to be silent. Except one. Except one little Fianna cub. This one, this Fianna, decides that it is a good idea when he's face to face with the one in charge of this facility, member of the Spirals. That it's a good idea to go ahead and say, Aaron, what the fuck do I do now? And we are all hidden.
This sounds like a great plan.
It was indeed. So naturally, our ambush is flopped. And we had to do battle with this. Have you ever seen The Centipede? Like the movie? The Human Centipede.
Blank.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah, compare what we were fighting to that. Only about 3 to 4 times bigger.
Blink, blink.
That's a very big insect. Or
The Human Centipede.
Lots of arms, made out of a ton of people.
Well, it was one person, but she was phenomenally large. Her mouth was not like a mouth, but more like a hole with sharp blades sticking out of it. She was crawling as if she were when making a bridge. Many, many arms extending from her belly. Each arm was either a bloody pulp at the end or claws. And so we had to do battle. The child of Gaia, child of Gaia Garu, decides that since we are not doing damage to this creature, our claws did not seem to phase it, decides to topple it over, and Krinos just flips it against the entire facility, and against its powder plant actually. And the facility went up in flames, in fire. When in battle, and you see an opportunity to try something new, try something that works, to think quickly. These are key elements. Use your surroundings. For if you do not see them, you have failed.
Who was this child of Gaia?
Her name was Alicia.
Is she still with us?
Perhaps somewhere in the nation. She left the Sept a long time ago.
Any records of her to follow up?
There are no stories of her further in the nation. She might have passed away in a field of battle, or she might still be alive. She was a Philodox.
So we don't know what happened to her? Do you know what she was last doing?
The last time I heard, she went on a quest to find a unicorn in the Umbral homelands of the children of Gaia. Now, I doubt that is that difficult, since the children of Gaia still have access to their homelands.
I wouldn't know, dear Raya. Never tried numble travel like that. But you gotta say, you got me curious.
But the fire worked then. That destroyed the creature.
Did. It did indeed.
That is good.
Thank you, Raya, for the story, and for answering the questions. What was her full address, so that if I do find her, I'll know her?
I have no idea out of character. I can't remember.
I believe it was Alicia Hayward's Bites the Groin. Was a false turn, but slated to have a satire right against her. So by this time, definitely Cleeth.
Mm-hmm.
Philodox and the such and such and such.
How did you know it so well, Austin?
Because at that point in time, she was my inspiration to actually play a Child of Gaia.
To play a proper Child of Gaia.
No. Yep.
Alicia Hayward. Her deed name was Bites the Groin.
Looks at all the
Wink.
female cubs, shrinks into himself.
Hispo bite is very painful when it is placed to some of the more delicate parts of the body.
Wince.
Good to know.
Do not recommend doing that. Otherwise you might get a silly deed name.
Yeah.
I shall name you Bites the Groin the Second if you are not careful.
Yeah. I like to hope that I'll end up with something better than that. So noted.
It's all in your deeds.
It could be worse. Could
Well?
be called all his fault.
Dear Raya, tell us the story of the Silver Fangs.
Story of the Silver Fangs, huh?
I think it's time to go.
Did you?
Blink?
Don't think I need to hear a story about Silver Fangs.
Then we can talk about something different.
However,
Where would you like to go?
Well, if you wanna, I can tell you a story about a different tribe. I can tell you a story about my own tribe.
whatever pleases you, Raya.
Well, you said you have no interest in a story of the Silver Fangs.
My apologies. I will not intervene again.
You did not intervene, Senna. You want to hear a story, or what story you want to hear, that's up to you. And it's up to me to tell it. That is my auspice.
Mivel gives Sin a shoulder a pat. You're all still people. You're still allowed to want things and not want things. You know that, right?
Can I?
Yeah? Why do you think we're all trying so hard to make you happy?
Raya,
Hmm?
do you have a story about that time in the museum?
The explosion?
Yeah.
I actually would really like to hear that. I heard that a lot of the museum had been repaired, but never knew exactly what happened.
You notice that Lucas goes ahead and grimaces to himself, rubbing his eyes. I did not sleep for 3 days after that.
Blink?
Very well. The story about the attack on the museum.
Lot to clean up, he whispers to Maeve.
She'll nod a little bit.
It was a day like any other. The Sept was busy. The different Garu and the different kin were all working. They were performing their tasks. And many of us were having a conversation. Until one moment we were disturbed by the loudest of bangs, the greatest of explosions. Oh, where did it come from? We all were looking, we all were searching. It was the museum. Not just anywhere. It was directly by Morning Kilraya's office. A group of men, armed with guns and with drones for surveillance. They headed for the museum and started making it a stronghold to hold it against us. We arrived, the different Garu and kin. See that there were snipers, they had normal pistols, they had machine guns. And so they opened fire. And we all charged. But one in particular charged. One kin rushed forward.
Two. Well,
Ah yes, Mr. Brakas. Thank you. Two kin charged forward. My apologies. One of them was hit and fell down, bleeding in the shoulder. The other kin looked in anguish. What to do now? She wanted to go further, to go inside. But she also wanted to help her friend. The other waved her to continue to push onward, push forward, push past the shooters and into the halls. In the meantime, outside, several Garu had jumped on the building to take care of the snipers. Some of the other Garu went towards the cars and made sure that they could no longer use them. They could no longer move. Eventually, these men and women got taken care of. They had a menacing weapon that stopped our ability to heal, like silver dust. So we had to be careful. When the lone charging kin arrived in the halls by the door of Morning Kilraya's office, were fire, but she did not see a Morning Kill. She saw a hand laying underneath his oaken desk. In great worry, in moments of fire and rage and strength, she lifted this desk from him. This heavy, heavy desk. Well, another explosion hit the building, and she used herself to shield him, for he was laying there, badly wounded, terribly wounded. There were 4 other men. The second explosion was used to blow up another wall, a wall leading down towards, well, the prison of the Sept. For you see, these men had a purpose to be here. Days earlier, a chase on the highway took place, when this same attack force captured one of our kin, kidnapped. We were sent out to chase and retrieve. We succeeded, and we took a prisoner. These men and women were here to kill that prisoner. Not retrieve it, kill it. When they had accomplished their jobs, they walked out the halls, looking at Morning Kilraya and his kin, and simply going on as if there were nothing there. The cars outside, though they had been deactivated, started beeping. And we were all taken by surprise as they exploded. How were they going to get away? Well, turns out they had 2 more cars parked far outside with more backup, and they just left. That is the story of the museum attack.
Details, details, details. Cleanup. 3 days at least. Lots of new coverage needed to be blocked. Lots of police borders needed to be crossed. And there was at least one fallen Garu who had reverted to his breed form, which was an inconvenient one.
A metis by the name of Tweak.
Ceremony for him to follow.
This was his falling. His death was the reason wartime was declared at the time. Are you still proud of your achievements that day, Cinna?
I did what I had to do.
That's not what I asked.
It's not to be proud of. It's, to me, it's the only way to act. And I would do it again.
It's just that much more admirable that you feel like that was the only option, that nothing else ever even came into your mind.
You say it like it's nothing, but everyone so far has talked about big scary things, but I hadn't realized just, I suppose, how close and how real it all was. Maybe I'm naive, but to me that sounds pretty heroic.
You do a lot
Just
of heroic
facts.
things in the nation. You don't have to be a true blood to do it.
Not.
Is there any reason why you wanted me to tell this story, Cinna?
Just, I don't know. Just, I wanted to know if it felt any different.
Did it?
No. No.
Senna, even as a kinfolk, you did amazing things, and you were still one of the kinfolk that I trusted the most to help when we needed help with something. And now you can do even more. I know it's not what you wanted, but you can still do even more now for the people you were helping before than you could do as a kinfolk.
I will.
I know you will.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Honest, Raya, you're married. I remember
Yeah.
the story. How would you
Indeed.
feel?
How would I feel if she had a first change?
Yeah.
I would be confused. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'd be frustrated, angry. And the problem is, my anger wouldn't have any outlet because it's not anybody's. Nobody is at fault.
I'm angry. I want to know why. Why did I change? Why not someone else? I want to change it. I don't want to be this. Wish I'd never gone there. Maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Luna chooses who she chooses. I imagine that since you have been chosen, there's something that you can do that nobody else here can do, that we need you specifically. There has to be something special about you, something that we need, and that we need you for. And I know it breaks your heart, but your heart is so big that even after this, you'll still be able to do something that will save us.
What did happen? Do you even remember?
Bits.
You want to share?
She actually looks at Aaron. I guess it's not a story you have yet.
It is not. Telling the story of your first change is strange.
I didn't have anything to do that day. Except work. Well, usually I pick and choose my own hours as long as my work is done. Didn't feel like working after breakfast. It was a great breakfast. It was really great breakfast. It doesn't matter. So I decided to go to make a call again because you asked me to call the Fiona. We're here to investigate their Geodyne, and
Knits her brow.
I called them and we set up a meeting. So I went to their penthouse at Hilton. I went up, and there was just one of them. Guy, I don't remember his name anymore. Not too big or anything, actually. We talked. I answered some of his questions and I asked some of mine. He didn't like him. Didn't like my questions. Well, I didn't care. I wanted to help a friend. I told him that. He told me he didn't care. I got angry. I told him that I helped them, and it would be nice if that was returned, the help. That I wanted to help a friend of mine, and that I didn't believe he'd simply had to be destroyed simply because they said he did that. He thought differently and we argued. He changed. And he changed into Krynos. I heard his voice in my head and it hurt it. Hurt it a lot. And I remember him attacking me. After that, nothing really. Nothing until I woke up. Mother Lorisaraya was there. She explained what happened, kinda. And then we went to see Olaf. Raya. Olaf Raya. And you know the rest.
Let me ask you this. Still wondering why you? Why then? Does Lucas get an answer or response?
I still want to know why.
He looks at you. Small little chuckle in his voice, but he goes ahead and stands up. Why you? Why then? Because you are Cinna. You stood up. You always stand up. You've always had the goal. Any story that's made mention of you has always been you standing up to anybody. When you thought that your way may not have been necessarily the right way, but it was the way that needed to be voiced. You were there in that room talking to that man, and you were standing up for somebody who could not. You were standing up for your friend. You still saw something in your friend, and you at least wanted people to hear it out so that the truth of the matter could come to bear. That's
I don't
why
need to be a monster to be that.
you're not. You were chosen by a higher power than me, because that higher power saw you there in that room demanding to be heard, demanding truth to be known. Do you believe that?
Don't need to be like this to do that. I don't care. I'll do what's needed. I'll do what they ask of me. Just need some time.
That was the reason it happened, but not the reason you're hurting right now. Sits back down.
Correct me if I'm
Time.
wrong. I still don't know an awful lot, but it also seems to me from your story, if the other guy was in Krenos, if you hadn't changed and responded and gone through your change, would you even still be here? Maybe you had to change because you needed to survive. And
I wasn't without help. I wouldn't have survived if it hadn't been for others to come and help. Mikhail and someone else is there. I don't remember, but that's what I heard.
Mikhail Petrovskos, Aaron Rhodes, Kachina Amonatu, Natian Larissa.
Yeah. So I would have been dead either way.
Maeve, by the way, has had a hand over her mouth and her eyes kind of filled with tears since about halfway through the story, and she just looks shocked.
Time. It always comes with time. I needed 4 years after my first change to adjust myself to, being a Garu.
You know the worst thing? I could live with my pain. But I can't get the picture of him out of my head. I can't stop thinking of how hurt he must be. If only I could. If only I could help him. But I can't. Because I'm the one causing this. That hurts the most.
I know you're gonna think I'm gonna tell you to sound selfish right now, but maybe you need to let the others help him and maybe focus on helping yourself for a little bit.
I don't think he'll allow anyone. He's stupid like that.
Would you feel better if you could talk to him?
I don't know if I can. I don't know. I don't. Maybe in time, but I think right now it would only make things worse.
If he's half as stubborn as you, then you probably both need an excuse to cry. Maybe if you have a chance to see each other and you can just let it go, even because the only people the two of you trust is each other, maybe it will help both of you.
Or at least maybe give you closure.
I've been thinking about it, but to be totally honest, I don't know if I want closure.
But you need it, even if you don't want it. Just like you need to be eating, even though you're not.
Not hungry.
I know you're not. But Luna wanted you to live so badly that she reached out to you. Starving yourself is not going to fix it. Starving yourself is just kind of spitting on it at this point. You need to eat at least a little bit, at least something. I'll make you broth if that's all you can choke down, but you need to eat something, and at this point, if you want it, I will go and I will ask him to meet you. I will beg him to meet you, just so the two of you have a chance to get it out.
No, not yet. I can't.
Okay.
I
won't make you.
asked Leah if she wanted to check up on him. He needs to know he's not alone in this, but he doesn't need to hear it from me.
Okay.
because I will only bring more pain right now. Maybe if others can tell him that he's not alone.
Maeve at this point is glancing to Lucas to see if he looks thoughtful, to see if he looks like he has any sort of ideas. Anything
Currently-
really.
Nope,
I
definitely. Lucas is mulling it mostly in his head for a few seconds. Luna reaches out. Luna reaches out to us sometimes in our time of most desperate need, sometimes in our most infuriating frustration. Touches that aspect of us, throw us into the war. Some of it is just simply protecting us when we desperately need that strength. For some of us, Luna goes ahead and reaches us when, well, just when things seems most appropriate, when you've been built up for that kind of thing your entire life and just need to graduate. And sometimes Luna is a bit of a trickster, plays a grand trick on you for a few months or maybe a year or so before she decides to reveal that grand prank. It's all going to be very, very different. Each one of us has a different story to tell. But you, my dear Senna, you find yourself the cause of this drama. I do not understand why you would find yourself the cause of the drama, the cause of the heartbreak and sorrow. Is it because of the long relationship that you had together? Because I guarantee you, that's something you will have to mourn, yes, but that was still glorious and wonderful and warm while you still had it. And the relationship you have now, completely and utterly different, but that doesn't devalue the time you had together. Hand in Maeve's, just for a brief second and a squeeze.
She purses her lips a little bit.
I know things will get easier. But right now, I just want to keep on. I just want to keep on holding to what we had. And it hurts. But if that's all that there's left, then I prefer to take the pain for a little bit longer.
Take it. It's yours. Nobody here is going to take it from you.
I understand, Senna, at least a little bit.
If you want to hold on for a bit longer, that is fine. Keep doing that. But at some point, and you will have to come to that decision yourself, we can try and help you get to it, but at some point, you will have to put that pain down. But if you want to hold on to it for a little bit longer, but
We'll be here around you and we will be your family while you're hurting. And we will take care of you.
We are all brothers and sisters in this new family we're creating. Big stupid smile on his face. In any case, go ahead, have fun with the bunny. I'm going to disappear for a second. Lucas goes ahead and steps away for a few seconds, walks into the bushes.
Talia's gonna get up, and if the bunny's still with her, put it back in the thing because she can't sit down for much longer, and it's just slowly sort of not pacing, but start sort of fidgeting and kind of move around and explore the different things like around them, trying to give Cinna a bit of space.
Maeve fails miserably to give Senna space. She'll be right there within, she'd have to move her hand all of an inch to touch her, but she won't press that on her. She'll just sit there next to her and be supportive. Though she will look up as Talia finally gets to moving, which at this point is just kind of what Talia does.
Hey.
And kind of grin a little.
From the bushes, Talia, excuse me, yeah, Talia, that's the word I want to use, gets a hey.
What are you doing?
I'm tagging you. Reaches out, taps your shoulder.
Are you seriously playing tag? You think this is the right idea right now?
Well, do you want to play?
Two people does not make tag, but she will reach out and tag you back.
Oh, tag you back. Run into the underbrush.
She's gonna glance back at the others and then dart after Lucas.
For what it's worth, Maeve will kind of nod her off, like, go for it.
Oh my god, how are you so fast?
Aaron will stand up. You're not alone, Senna.
Not ever.
I know that hair. She points to her head.
But you needed here, right?
Yeah.
He'll reach into his messenger bag and he'll pull out a necklace and kind of hold it very tight in his hand. You can see that it has very strange ornament green stones. It's like with a few glyphs on it that are obviously not Garu glyphs. You wouldn't happen to have a spiritual container, would you? Something like a magpie swag?
No. Sorry.
I've been meaning to get one, but have not gotten that far yet.
To make one or to get one?
Well, I meant to make one, but I'm not so good at hand sewing, it turns out, so yeah.
Not to mention, you're still a cub, Maeve.
I've been able to do a lot as a cub.
Yeah, but there are things that they don't teach cubs quite yet. Like the right of the fetish. It's a very...
I think Katori had agreed to do that bit of it for me. But it would still be my duty to get the bag and to speak to the spirit.
Well, as long as you can. They'll put back the necklace. If you ever need a story time again, come look me up, okay? Both of you.
Maeve will nod a couple times and then glance over at Senna.
Thank you, Shreya.
It was my pleasure. He'll say whilst he's kind of walks off and look towards Talia and Lucas. He has a grin on his face, and then just start sprinting and just rush past them like a bullet, and say with both of them, on your left.
Good. Perfect balance prevents you from being tripped. Yay!
Laps them on your left.
Glance at Lucas. How does he go so fast?
His mother was a jackal, I think.
Why did you say that?
Isn't jackal actually a whatchamacallit, native animal to Egypt, and isn't it known for being a very, very fast sprinter?
That's true, but
There you go, common sense
Not as bad
kicking
as
in.
getting called a fox or a coyote. Come on now.
There you go.
I'm gonna roll fake dice for this.
If
Nope.
you get tackled, I'm laughing.
No.
What are you doing?
Tackling.
Alright. I'll roll the dodge then.
What is a tackle? Is it strength brawl, dex brawl?
There's a tackle and a sweep, I do know that much.
I assume that anything on the attack is dex brawl.
We'll go on dex brawl.
Oh, this is where I get my shit kicked in. Nope. This is where I get my shit kicked in. You just gotta beat one.
1, 2, 3.
Yep, definitely. Hardy fucking tackle. Describe that.
He'll like when you say his mother's a jackal or something like that, you can swear he'll start going even faster and then just laughs you again. And then kind of just runs next to you at the same speed. Hey, dude.
Gonna go ahead and throw him into the nearby bushes or into a ditch.
No, he'll just jump.
Dunk, 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 dunk.
At this point, if Lucas is getting tackled, then against probably all common sense, Maeve will, Talia will probably jump on too.
Dariah! Dariah! As he's probably gonna go ahead and bounce a few times.
Doing, doing, doing. Yeah.
I'm sorry. As you're probably gonna go ahead and lap him again. So he has this really, really nice Doppler effect for you.
Spending that gnosis for speed of thought.
Now I gotta think of some sort of contrition for Aaron now. Great.
Talia, you know that this guy is fast. He's faster than a lupus.
Fucking insanely
Hobbit.
fast.
Yeah, she's like, how is he going that fast, and how can I go that fast?
He'll stop right beside her. Those are the gifts of my tribe. The children of Owl. The silent striders.
From the ditch, you see Lucas crawling his ass out.
Aaron will
Crawling
reach out and
toward
give you a hand.
Yeah.
And offer you a hand.
Apology for the offense, Dariah?
None taken.
It seems like Katori Raya is right. Your mouth is always getting you in trouble.
Shrug. Auspice.
You shouldn't say that, though. Saying somebody's mother is a jackal. They might get offended.
What would be the more proper respect?
I don't know, just don't say that mother is a freaking jackal.
I'll take the lesson.
Good. Alright. I will see you cubs later. I have to go and do owl things.
Wave, wave.
Thank you, Raya, for telling us stories and teaching us lessons.
He'll start walking, and all of a sudden he'll just disappear.
Talia is still pretty much in awe of his speed.
Walking back. What's the situation with me, Vincent, at the moment?
Maeve is still just settled next to her, but not doing anything remarkable, glancing over to her every so often to see if she's taking interest in anything besides her hands, really.
Senna is still mainly staring at her hands, and at some point her hand just stretches out for just once and strokes the bunny again.
Victor.
Undoubtedly, the bunny expresses joy.
Undoubtedly. Totally.
Well, do you want to just go back to the cabin? What do you want to do, Senna?
Um, I don't know.
You can do anything you want as long as, like, maybe once a day even, I can get you to eat, and then I will let you sit in your memories if it's what you want to do. I'll stop dragging you around. I promise.
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Because let me tell you, someone or another is going to kick my ass if I can't get you to eat just a little bit.
I'm not hungry. I just need to.
I know.
I think I need to do something useful at some point. Doing something useful yesterday felt good.
Okay, good. She'll look over wherever Lucas is. Did he come back over?
Yeah.
So, Lucas.
Mhm.
What can we do that's useful? Preferably that won't also get us in trouble.
Oh, right.
I know that takes at least half the options away, but
I know.
I believe in you.
Okay.
Or at least in not so much trouble we can't get ourselves out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to suggest that we simply go to the keepers and volunteer our time.
That might be a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah. We can find out who's taken over those duties, as if we can't volunteer our time, and spend most of the day dodging cops, their stupid questions, and picking up litter.
Yeah.
Fucking cops.
Who are the keepers?
Keepers are responsible for the physical maintenance of the sept, and they are also called upon to be well knowledgeable with spirits because you deal with the spiritual wards of the sept more often than not.
Fair enough.
So a lot of janitorial work.
Yep.
And some pruning, if you got it. About this
Werewolf
time...
janitors was what was going through my head.
Alright then.
I've been thinking about making some natural feeders for the birds, what with winter coming on. It really hasn't hit properly, and she just kind of looks around in confusion, because there's probably even new growth on some of the plants, because they're confused by the fluctuations of temperature, but, sooner or later it's going to start snowing, and, well, they'll need something to eat. So we can either go out and pick up, or if you want to stay in, we can work on making feeders. I'll pick up some of the twigs and things that have fallen. Pick up pine cones.
If you want to do things with wood, I can probably help you there.
Yeah?
I'm not particularly skilled, but I have some skill at woodworking.
Good. Yeah, we can pick up and make feeders for the birds and the squirrels when things get a little little harder to forge through. Yeah, come on, let's do a thing.
Do a thing! Arts and crafts a thing! Lucas is
Is
going to
that
go ahead
enough
and
of
spend his
is this enough-
time
Uh,
wrestling all, or at least herding all the bunnies back into their bin. That'll be his action.
Talia will turn to Cinna and ask, is this constructive enough for you? Or does this still feel... Do you think you will still think too hard?
I don't know if that's gonna stop for a while, but at least I'll get my hands busy with something.
Mhm.
Something else to do is good. So yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yep. And I mean, if you're crazy like Talia over there, we can always ask Olaf or Travis for training. That'll keep you thinking.
Training?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we showed you the training grounds before where all those obstacle courses and stuff were. You can always ask someone like Travis. He's always over at the castle, or you can ask Olaf, and they'll almost always go over there and teach you combat.
Always. Sometimes they come to you, early at the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm meaning to look out Travis. I just, with one thing and another, haven't quite got there yet.
If you two want to go and find whoever the keepers are right now, I can take Talia over and at least see if she can meet Travis briefly.
I can. Yeah, how about the three of you go? I can find the keepers myself. I've been there more than once, and also just pick up a shovel.
Okay.
Totally doable.
If that's what I'm... If you're sure...
And maybe we'll hop up and offer Cinna a hand if she wants it.
She looks at it for a moment as she just that 1 second doesn't really know what to do with it, and then she'll take it.
And maybe we'll hoist her up.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And she'll smile and give her a little pat and say, go ahead and find the keepers. I'm sure we'll come back around to you later. Join in. Bye, Cinna. Take care of yourself, okay? Okay.
So now we'll start making our way.
Lucas
And then
will
she
take
will... Oops, go ahead.
Lucas will take 5 seconds and walk behind.
And Maeve will turn about and hook Talia's arm, all escorty style, and very primly, like, draw herself up, like, super ridiculous. Like, very primly be like, shall we, madam?
Looks somewhat bemused. You lead on?
Yep. And she'll lead her the direction of the castle, because clearly she has to meet Travis. He's just ridiculous enough and just violent enough that they should get along fabulously. And I suppose with that we will end this particular scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time on another thrilling episode of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.